Hello, I'm Graham Elwood, and welcome to the Political Vigilante. So it's Super Bowl Sunday, Patriots versus the Atlanta Falcons, and there's an interesting article in the USA Today entitled "NFL Works to Retain Its Fans' Devotion" by Brent Shortenboer. And what this goes into is basically the problems the NFL is facing. So their viewership is down. They had about 17 and some million viewers averaged in 2015, and this year it's more about 16.4, 0.5 million viewers per game or per week. So they're already down about a million or so viewers. And I think the NFL, my prediction is about 20 years from now, the NFL is going to be half as what it is. And I know there's people like, oh my God, it's crazy. The NFL, they're huge. They're the biggest league. They're America's game. I think several things have happened. They've gotten way too greedy. And what this article goes into, and I'll read a couple stats from it, but is basically, and I agree with this article. It's saying several things. The head injuries, the Parkinson's, the CTE, this is news. And the NFL got busted for covering it up. And if it wasn't for the Supreme Court, they would pay nothing to former players who have given their bodies, and their bodies are banged up, and these guys make billions of dollars, the owners, and the players who give it all get nothing. Also, what's happening, millennials, 18 to 34-year-olds, are watching less and less. So the baby boomers, which basically drove the NFL, professional football back in the 30s and in the 40s was just sort of not that big of a deal. The big sports back then were baseball, boxing, and college football. And so now what drove the NFL was mainly in the 60s and 70s. It was the Super Bowl, it was Pete Rozelle, and that rushed it into this golden age where it's making billions of dollars, and the NFL's goal is to be making $25 billion by like 2027. That's their goal. And I don't think it's going to happen, because there's a line in the movie Concussion that makes a lot of sense. When Will Smith's character is like going to the NFL, like, oh, you guys should know about this, and you should know, so you should protect your players. And that one guy says, if even just 10% of the moms in the US say, oh, my kid can't play anymore because of this potential head injury, the NFL's over. And that's what is starting to happen on a lot of levels. So the big game, they get $5 million for a 30-second spot. That is more than double what they were getting in 2007. That is 16 times what they were getting for ad spots in 1967. So the other key statistics to pay attention to here is, this is an era, here's an excerpt from the article. This is an era which consumers can watch countless on-demand commercial-free shows on Netflix. Fewer may be willing to watch a regular season game that averages more than 3 hours and is interrupted 25 times with a combined 41 minutes of commercials. I noticed this in my own viewing patterns. I canceled my cable, and I mainly watch Netflix and Hulu. That's what I watch primarily. And I still have some DVDs, but I'm mainly watching streaming services. And I remember last summer for the Olympics, oh, let's watch the Olympics. And we have an antenna, so we're watching the Olympics. And the ads were killing us. My girlfriend and I were like, I can't watch these stupid ads anymore. And in this on-demand world, an NFL game, there's so many ads, and the ads are just truck, big truck, have a truck and a beer, and blah, blah. That's like, the ads are insulting. As a guy that played high school football, I loved the NFL. I used to watch it religiously. This is the first season I've never watched a full NFL game. Never watched it, don't care. The league is just too greedy for me. And also the fan base, not all the fans. I'm sure some of you are watching like, hey, Graham, I still like watching the game. And I get it. It's a great game. The strategy, it's fun. Getting together with your friends is a blast. But not all, but some of the fans, just the beer guzzling yahoos. And look, every sport just about has beer guzzling yahoos. Except, I might add, the WNBA, which my girlfriend and I go to the WNBA. The games are awesome. We're the only childless heterosexual couple there, but it's a blast. There's no guys going, you suck, blah. There's none of that. It's just people having a good time watching good basketball. So I'm a little tired with the fan base. And then here's some other stats that are worth paying attention to. The generation shift. If the millennial generation is the future, the NFL has another concern. Will those customers watch and buy at the same rate as the baby boomers? Regular season viewership among those aged 18 to 34 has decreased every year since at least 2013, down to 2.9 million this year, according to Nielsen. This is the same generation that's learned a lot about the risks of head injuries in football and has fueled the rise of other sports. That's the thing. The millennials, you start watching football when you're in high school and college, and you get together with your buddies and you get everyone together, and there's the guys and girls, and we're all getting together and watching. But if you're not watching it, it's going to tune out. And what's interesting, this article also goes into one of the things that's hurting the league is all of the teams shifting, like the Rams coming from St. Louis to Los Angeles. Okay, that's kind of cool, bring football back to LA, but what does that do to St. Louis market? And then the San Diego Chargers are now, which I don't get it. Not that many people in LA are that excited about the Chargers. They were excited about the Rams, but the Chargers are leaving a fan base that they've had there for 56 years. And San Diego is still a top 30 market. And the MLS, Major League Soccer, is already trying to get a team down there. So if you noticed, the networks realize the money of soccer. NBC, ESPN, and ABC and all of its networks, they're showing the English Premier League. They're covering Major League Soccer. Major League Soccer has done a very smart job, in my opinion, of slowly growing. Major League Soccer appeals to a lot of sort of millennials, and non-soccer doesn't have as many like meatheads. It's more like a hipster craft brew, go to the soccer game kind of thing. I go to watch the LA Galaxy. I love watching soccer. I love watching the MLS. It's a lot of fun. So the NFL, I think, has some serious problems here, and that's the biggest issues. As I just said, it's the head injury stuff that everyone's becoming aware of, that's sort of like, so less people are going to be playing it, which means you're going to have less fans. You have competing leagues that are doing a better job. The NFL is pretty greedy, and they're losing this key demographic in the millennials. So if anyone's like, oh, you're shitting on football, I love the game, but as I said in the other, the CTE episode of this show that I talked about it, and then, Tom Brady's he's a fantastic quarterback. He's one of the greatest ever, but he's buddies with Trump. Like, I don't want to get into that. So if you had fun watching the game, that's good. Super Bowl parties can be a lot of fun. But this is my prediction with the NFL, is that it won't be around. It's going to lose. It's going to keep losing viewers. And soccer, the most popular sport on the face of the earth, is going to overtake it. Don't think NFL is going to be gone, because there's a lot of money there, but boxing used to be the best sport. It was the biggest sport. Everything, all anyone cared about was boxing. Now it's not as popular, and the UFC's overtaken it. So anything can happen. This is Graham Elwood with the Political Vigilante. Don't forget to like it, subscribe, give me your comments, let me know what you think.